High CPMs are a symptom of bad advertising, and in this video, I'm going to show you what you can do to reduce your CPM so that you can get more profitable adverts on Facebook. Here's the thing that nobody talks about in the dropshipping space. Ripping ads from Minea, Calodata, or any spy tool, you're done. You're not getting an edge. You're just competing with everybody else who's stolen the same creative, the same hooks, the same offer, and Meta's going to punish you with high CPM. What actually works in 2026 is creating your own audience, creating your own category of buyers. So instead of competing with the race to the bottom, you're the only option in their mind. I've audited hundreds of ad accounts and I see the same thing time and time again. So whether you're spending $50 a day or $500 a day, the lessons remain the same. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why Meta is charging a premium to you. So let's get into it. So when you're running your Facebook ads, you're going to often see this key metric that Facebook give you. Now this is by default and it's the CPM. Now this is the cost per 1,000 views, and this is one of the most important things that you have to really understand within Facebook advertising. The price you're literally paying to show 1,000 people your ad. In simple terms, you're paying for visibility with Facebook. You're not paying for clicks or sales. If you're getting a really high CPM, it means that it's expensive attention. You're spending more money just to get your ad seen. You're often competing with other people that have got a very similar ad, very similar product, or a very similar offer. And it's your job as a marketer to differentiate yourself so you can compete on the auction and get cheaper CPM, which means your ad is going to get pushed out to way more people, and therefore you're going to be able to get more conversions. So why does CPM really matter? If you're getting high CPM, it's going to drain your budget before the results even start. It could cost you double compared to someone that has already got a seasoned pixel. So if it costs you $80 to reach 1,000 people, instead of 40 for example, you need 2 times the amount of buyers just to break even. You're not just paying more, you're making profitability way more harder for yourself. So if company A is getting $20 CPM, versus a new company that's just started and they're using ripped ads and they're getting $60 CPM. So you're going to find it way harder to test and be sustainable at the very start, simply because Facebook is penalizing you because you're a new advertiser, and it's your job to get fresh creative that Facebook has never seen before. The goal for Facebook is to keep the user on their app for the longest time possible and to give them the best satisfactory experience. If you're running ads that everyone else has seen before, then by default, you're going to get a higher CPM, and it's your job again to get better ads, better hooks, better creative that keeps the user engaged. So if you're getting higher CPM, you're going to have lower margins and it's going to be so much harder to scale. So 3 reasons why your CPM is so high. So number 1, you're going to be in a competitive audience. There's too many advertisers, and if the same advertisers are targeting the same people, costs are by default and naturally going to go up. You're bidding against each other and there's no competitive edge. Therefore, your price and CPM is going to increase. If your CPM increases, that means your cost per click is going to be higher. You're going to be paying way more per person to visit the website, and therefore by default your conversion rate is going to be lower, and you need to do something that differentiates yourself once again. So as you know, Facebook runs as a competition and is an auction place. Every time your ad is shown, you're competing against other people, and you're competing in an attention economy. And therefore, we are all, as advertisers, competing against one another for our placements. The more advertisers targeting the same audience means a higher CPM. That's why generic products are going to find themselves very hard to advertise in comparison to a niche product that you can build your own mini audience around. So why this happens, your targeting is going to be super broad in the advertising material. You haven't found your ideal customer avatar within the advert itself. You're selling a trendy and saturated product that every other advertiser sells. The simple takeaway here means that more competition is going to have way more expensive attention. So what can you do to counter this? You're going to have to create compelling ads that have strong hooks, strong visuals, and ultimately a strong call to action. So another reason why your CPM is so high is that the creative itself is getting very low engagement. As I mentioned earlier, Facebook is an attention app. The goal for Facebook is to simply keep the users happy and on the app for as long as possible. So if the ad isn't getting any clicks, likes, or any watch time, the platform and the AI is going to see this as low quality, and it charges you way more to show this ad to the people in comparison to people that are creating way better advertising material. And it's your job to improve this. So if weak attention is constantly being evaluated by Facebook and it's very poor, and it's measuring this by the amount of clicks, likes, comments, watch time, and overall attention, then if people aren't engaging, then it's going to be seen as a super low quality ad, and this is not going to get rewarded. It's very important that we stay super visible with our advertising, and we can do this by improving the hook, which is the first 1 to 3 seconds of the visual. The creative itself is going to look like every other ad, and we want to avoid this at all costs. And there's no clear problem solution benefit. We need to make sure that the marketing message is portrayed really clearly. Again, if there's weak or confusing messaging, then it's going to be a major issue for us. And we need to make sure ultimately that the content production is of the highest quality. So the simple takeaway here is the better the ad performs, the less you pay. Facebook will reward you. And finally, if we've got poor targeting with our adverts, and if your audience isn't interested, the engagement drops. And that means if the attention's going to drop, the ad is going to appear weaker on the auction and therefore the higher CPM. Our job is to get the CPM down, but we have to do this by creating adverts that are very interesting. It's not always about the product, and it's not even about finding a product no one is selling. It's about finding a desire within the marketing that no one is speaking to, and that's how we're going to create our own audience. Every product on the planet will sell. It's just about how profitable the ads can be. Every product solves multiple problems and taps into multiple desires. It's our job as marketers to find that pocket of people that have a problem and create a solution around our product. Someone who's new into dropshipping will focus on the most obvious solution that this product will provide, but instead they should flip this and do some deeper research and try and find a different angle so that they can actually in fact find these customers that desire their product. So the example here is everyone is selling a posture corrector to people with back pain, but that's just one angle. A different approach would be finding a different desire around the same product. Maybe it could improve your confidence, appearance, professional image to get a job, and maybe even the person having way more energy in their day-to-day lives. The simple takeaway here is that the same product with a different desire means less competition. So conclusion, why are your CPMs high and how to counter it? A high CPM means the platform sees your ad as too expensive. It doesn't always mean your product's bad, but most of the time, it means one of 3 things is happening. Too many advertisers targeting the same audience, the creative is not engaging enough, or your targeting is attracting the wrong audience. The biggest mistake I see people make is trying to find a product that no one else has sold before. But in reality, winning products are always being sold by so many people. The difference is not always the product, it's always the angle, the message, the creative, and the audience desire. So to counter high CPM, you need to make your ads feel way more relevant to a smaller niche of individuals who are interested in buying. So we need to improve the creative. The first 3 seconds must grab attention. You need strong hooks, clear problems, emotional triggers, and visual proof of the product. If people stop scrolling, they watch for longer, they click like, they click onto your website, the platform sees this as the advertising being higher quality and therefore is going to give you cheaper reach. Second, you need to change the angle. Don't say the same thing every other dropshipper is saying. Find a different desire behind the same product, and this is ultimately going to mean less competition. Third, and I would argue the most important, is testing your audience and the message. If your ad is shown to people that don't care, the engagement's going to drop and CPM rises, your cost per click rises, and overall you're going to find it way harder to scale. Your targeting, creative, and offer must always speak to the same specific type of person. The more specific and more emotionally relevant the message is, the better the ad will perform. So the simple key takeaway from this video is that high CPM is not always a product issue. It's usually a positioning and creative problem. And to lower your CPM, you've got to create ads that stop attention, speak to a specific desire, and make the product feel way different from everyone else selling the same thing. If you like this video and found any value, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.